crowds in a rough arena to see a dream matchup between Houston and Kentucky. Guy Lewis's Cougars have won 6 in a row, led by Hakeem Olajuwon. The 7-foot junior is one of the most dominating players of the game. Hakeem already has blocked 107 shots, and he leads the nation in rebounds. Joe B. Hall's Wildcats are paced by the Twin Towers, Sam Bowie and Melvin Turpin. Bowie has battled back after missing the last 2 seasons due to a leg injury. The 7'1" senior is a force around the basket. Turpin is a powerful player. The Dipper leads the Wildcats in scoring, hitting 65% of his shots. The Twin Towers and Hakeem the Dream. It's a game that'll be played above the Lexington skyline.
Between the Houston Cougars and the Kentucky Wildcats is sponsored by Chevrolet. America's on the move, and Chevrolet is supplying the wheels. Chevrolet and you taking charge. Sentry, for all your insurance needs, you can count on your local Sentry agent where all's well, even when all isn't. And by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts.
Third-ranked Kentucky, fourth-ranked Houston, the first meeting since 1956. This has been called a dream matchup. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. What a way, an excellent way to start Super Sunday. Houston has won 6 in a row, but to win number 7, Guy Lewis says we'll have to play our best game of the year. And the best-known fraternity of the year can still play by slamma-jamma. Kentucky, on the other hand, they've been in a slump. They ended a 2-game losing streak, winning Friday night against Vanderbilt. But according to Joe B. Hall, they still are not out of that slump. And today, they must play with emotion. And they should have some emotion today. This is quite a stimulating game. Broadcasting partner is Billy Packard. Billy, as you look at Kentucky in the last 5 years, they've lost half their games in January. It's a typical January slump.
Well, I believe there's 2 reasons for that, Gary. No team gets off-season conditioning like Kentucky. They start out the month of December as probably the best conditioned program, and they're ready to go on December 1, as we've seen right here on CBS. The key, though, for them is the fact that in January they go up against conference foes, and you can expect a little bit of a slowdown.
Well, Houston, they lost Clyde Drexler and Larry Mishaw, but they've closed their ranks. They've continued on.
Guy Lewis recruited very well to fill those holes, and Hakeem Olajuwon is getting better with each ball game and understanding now that he's a true superstar offensively.
So Hakeem the Dream, the Twin Towers. This Kentucky team, very tough. They've won 7 in a row, 15 straight over the last 2 years.
Chevrolet, taking charge.
Ever notice how many Chevy Chevettes you see on the road? That's because Chevette's basic design hasn't changed in 9 years. A design so easy to service, many people do it themselves. And so dependable, 97% ever built are still going strong. Chevette, the lowest price car built in America. Designed to please almost everybody.
Chevrolet.
And you.
Taking charge.
Old style light. It doesn't taste like a light beer.
Here's what Mike Marsalis said during a taste test against his favorite light beer.
The taste is good. Tastes like beer.
So what should we tell the people at Miller Lite?
Go back to the drawing board. You can have beer taste in a light beer with old style light. Far better tasting than Miller Lite. It wouldn't even compare. Now, if you guys are from Miller, I'm in big trouble, but that's okay.
Taste the difference Kreuzening makes in a light beer.
Settled.
You're inside the American Airlines maintenance base where professionals like Richard McCormick run thousands of checks on our planes inside and out as part of our comprehensive maintenance program. At American, we spend over $1 million a day keeping our planes up to the highest standards, but there are some things you just can't put a price on.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
Listen to these stuffy noses.
Afrin doesn't have it.
Dristan doesn't have it.
Only Sinex has it. Ooh. That quick feeling of relief from instantly penetrating Vicks vapors, plus a powerful decongestant that opens nasal passages and allows you to breathe freely.
Ah, complete relief.
For hours and hours, Sinex gives you both instant relief
Ooh.
and complete relief.
Ah.
Vicks Sinex in regular strength and 12-hour extra strength.
Rupp Arena, the site of the Final Four in 1985. The Wildcats led the nation in attendance. The lineup: Ricky Winslow, 6'8" freshman, a powerful player. Bowie coming back strong. Young with 13 20-point games, and Walker's been very consistent. Hakeem with 23 rebounds Friday night. And Turpin, the Dipper. Alvin Franklin's been very steady at the point guard, and Blackman his second start of the year. Geddes is third in the nation in assists, and Masters coming out or hoping to come out of a shooting slump. The officials, two from the SEC, Don Shea of Atlanta, Georgia, and Dale Kelly of Huntington, Tennessee, and Bobby Deidler from the Southwest Conference from El Paso, Texas. There will be no shot clock today, even though both of these conferences employ the 45-second shot clock. The country's waited for this a long time. Kentucky, Houston. The last time they met was in '56. Guy Lewis's first year at Houston, and he went against the Baron, Adolph Rupp.
Gary, a lot of talent out there. Probably 10 first-round draft choices on these two ball clubs.
Blackman, the freshman from Marion, Indiana, stepped out of bounds with the ball.
Wait a second. We may have a foul. He's pointing to Reed Geddes. I believe it's going to be on Reed Geddes over in the side for the push on Blackman.
It'll be interesting to see how closely they call it, Billy, because one of the big factors in this game is whether Akeem Abdul-Olajuwon can stay out of foul difficulty. Houston is very thin there.
What'll really be a problem is the fact that he has to guard two people on the inside. Now you start off in a 2-3 zone, does Houston. Realizing Kentucky's had problems from the outside.
Bowie down low to Turpin. He lost it. Houston will have it. Kentucky in a real shooting slump as a team. In fact, Joby Hall said it's the worst shooting he's had by his guard since he's been a...
Two-man there. Michael very nicely to pick it up. Gary, I'm going to give Olajuwon a little credit for some intimidation underneath, because Turpin certainly knew he was there on that lob.
Here's Alvin Franklin, the sophomore, Lamar, Texas, to Geddes. Into Akeem.
Looked awful good there. Got nice space between himself and the defensive player, who was Melvin Turpin.
He has been on a tear the last 4 games.
Now it's a 1-3-1, three-quarter court press. Nice job by Houston.
Geddes takes it into Akeem, and already 2 turnovers against Kentucky.
Nice job by Houston changing up their defenses. Straight man-to-man now by Kentucky.
Franklin penetrating well, and there's where they go on the boards tough. But Ricky Winslow, the freshman, will be whistled down for the foul.
Winslow really going over the back there, showing a little inexperience. But watch Franklin. Easily goes by Blackman. That's not a good sign for Joe Hall. Misses there, but Winslow comes over the top. No question about the foul. Kenny Walker hasn't seen many guys go over his back in years. His 2 years here, because he's a great leaper also. There's the trap again.
Walker will bring it out to Blackman. Usually they've been going with Roger Harden at guard, and there's another turnover. Kentucky a little shaky now. That's the 3rd turnover.
They expected to see zones. They see an awful lot of zones because not too many people can handle them in a man-to-man situation with those twin towers. But the press has surprised them here early. There's the straight man-to-man. Bowie can help out a little bit of Olajuwon. He's got Winslow that he's shading away from.
Reed Geddes, 6'7", off to Franklin. When they have a man-to-man, they make Franklin the point guard. When they go the zone, they move Geddes to the point position.
Franklin again takes Blackman. That's going to go.
It will count.
Blackman's going to have
a foul.
He's going to have to place Franklin a lot more straight up, because Franklin's a tremendous penetrator. He's got a lot of power. You can see that's the second time that he really took Blackman and went by. Now, if Blackman had been squared up in a charge on Franklin, but that wasn't the case there at all. Good call.
Franklin was the man that was the 5th ingredient to that team a year ago. He started the last 19 games, and he's so much steadier this year. He's playing with the savvy of a year's experience, and now it's a 5-0 game, Houston.
There you go then. 1-3-1 trap again. Houston covering a lot of ground. There's tremendous quickness out there.
Master, his stop. Out to Blackman.
Bowie wanted the lob pass.
Kentucky has been getting a real dose of zones. That's all they've seen.
This should be the man that ends it right here.
He is not shooting well. He's shooting only 43%, the deepest slump of his career.
Gary, it has to be all mental for Jim Master, because he's a tremendous pure shooter.
Here's Michael Young, the leading scorer, averaging over 20 points a game.
Team wide open again. Turpin can't let him handle the ball that easily.
Young will hit that shot all afternoon long.
You see, that's the second time in this early going here that Melvin Turpin has allowed Akeem Olajuwon to handle the ball without any fronting at all.
Houston has come into Rupp Arena, a tough place to play, and they are not intimidated whatsoever, leading 7-0.
Good lob. Oh,
Winslow. That shows you the jumping ability. Guy Lewis says he jumps as well as Clyde Drexler did.
Incredible leap defensively.
4 turnovers now against the Wildcats. Houston's hit 3 of 4 thus far from the field.
There, you can't let a man of his abilities touch the ball down and low so easily.
Skywalker gets it off to Blackman, to Turpin, and he's fouled. He's going to go on Michael Young.
Good reach-in foul. Now, Sam Bowie just raised his hand. He said, throw that ball up in the air. Now, he realizes he's got a number of inches on Winslow, but Winslow's a tremendous leaper and very quick getting off the floor. It might not be as easy as Sam thinks.
13 foul now against Houston. Melvin Turpin at the line. Melvin, their leading scorer, shooting so well from the field at 65%. From the free throw line, he's also effective, hitting 80%. He's the guy who's made so much phenomenal improvement, but he, along with the rest of the team, Billy, has really slumped. They've backed off a little bit, not playing with the confidence that they were early in the year.
Gary, sometimes I wonder if it's not a little bit of Kentucky mystique, though, because they got beat by an Auburn team that's very talented and played extremely well. A lot of people will lose to Auburn down there.
So it took 3 minutes for Kentucky to get on the scoreboard. 7-1, Houston with the lead.
Great man-to-man, good screen for Young by Geddes.
Alvin Franklin, boy, he's penetrating. There's a fine rebound by Sam Bowie, and he just defies Franklin. That's Winslow again, 5th turnover.
Good dribbling by Winslow also. That pass wasn't there, and Blackman's going to come out. Joe Hall's going to the bench already.
Getting ready to bring Roger Hart in, who started all but 2 games. Young again. Billy, he'll just nail that all day. That's like duck soup to him.
But if you scout Houston, you like to keep Michael Young putting that ball on the floor. When he can just stand still, either from the wings or out front, he'll absolutely kill you.
Probably one of the publicized players, Winslow.
Timeout, Kentucky.
This is a stunning start at the 15:58 mark of this first half. Houston has a 10-point lead, and Joe B. Hall's team, they've got to regroup.
There's only one thing Rachel Stevens does well. Starting a boat isn't it. Stopping a boat isn't it either. What Rachel does well is drive. So well, she qualifies for Century Plain Talk Car Insurance, which rewards good drivers with good rates. So good, she has money to help pay for flying lessons. If you're a good driver, call Century, where all's well, even when all isn't.
This is Mr. Goodrich, and did you know there are ways you can tell if your GM car's shock absorbers are okay? For one, check your tires. If they show unusual wear, like cupping at one spot, it can mean worn shocks. Make your car hard to handle. So see Mr. Goodrich. I have the right equipment, training, and genuine GM Blue Line replacement shocks available. They have a lifetime limited warranty.
It's another of Mr. Goodrich's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Inflexible Express.
Hi, can you get a package to Yugoslavia?
Absolutely, positively not.
How about Taiwan or Peru?
Absolutely, positively not.
Well, Purolator Courier can. We're more flexible than a certain express company. We now serve over 100 countries, so the courier that delivers the most packages overnight in North America now gets them to even more of the places you want. Call Purolator Courier. You want it, you got it. Worldwide.
It is a top-secret project so advanced that only 2 men in the world can fly it. Now one of them must kill the other to possess Airwolf. Tonight, following 60 Minutes.
23,000 plus a sellout. The second meeting between the 3rd and 4th ranked teams in the country, and you talk about jumping ability. Watch this.
Okay, you can see Sam Bowie wanting the lob. Now that lob's got to go up above the white block that you see there on the backboard for Sam Bowie. And you can see he was a little annoyed. He wants it up much higher. But Winslow showed tremendous leaping ability and quickness to get it.
Billy, amazing thing. And we played 4 minutes in the game, and Kentucky's taken only 1 shot. 5 turnovers. They trail by 10.
There's that half-court 1-3-1 trap again. Harden in the game now for Blackman to try to steady things down a little bit.
Roger Harden, the sophomore.
Winslow riding Bowie down low Try to keep him out of position.
They're having a tough time finding Turpin. Boy, there it is.
Good steal.
Michael Young comes up with it, and Boyd's going to have to protect the ball.
Sam will go ahead and make that shot. I think Kentucky will come back and settle down a little bit now. You can't blow a team out of this ability that easily. But
Akeem, that's too low to let him have the ball, and there's Roger Harden with the steal.
Masters got to take that jump shot.
But he's a little hesitant. That's because of that shooting slump. Boy, Houston playing tough defense.
Swarming. Reed Geddes at 6'7" can do some good things inside.
Turpin over Akeem.
Best thing Melvin Turpin did there, Gary, is he took the ball right to Akeem. Didn't try to get away from him with a fadeaway. Put it right up to his face.
First field goal of the game now for the Wildcats. Michael Young, a goaltending. That should have been. Boyd definitely had a goaltending there. And Harden almost turned the ball over there. They've got two plays that weren't whistled down. Walker. Now they're going to call goaltending at this end.
I believe Kentucky got the better end of that deal, Gary. They had a goaltend, a turnover, and now Houston gets called for a goaltend.
And Kentucky's right back in this one now. They have the crowd into the game, and they trail by 6 points. Here's Akeem.
Master dropping in. Now, Geddes has got a good jumper. If they're going to drop in, that's probably going to be called on it.
That'll be Turpin to the foul. Let's go back on these two controversial plays.
Here we see the play. Good drive inside by Michael Young. Now, Sam Bowie is right underneath the basket at this point. He jumps up, definitely gets the ball on the way down.
Wasn't even close.
No. And he's standing right under the basket, Gary. You can't get it when a man's in that tight and not have goaltending.
2 shots coming for Akeem, who has 2 points.
Akeem kind of burrowed his way in that last time. Thought if Turpin had held his ground, he might have been able to draw the charge. But still, Akeem is handling the ball so easily down low.
One of the great success stories in basketball history. Started playing basketball in 1979. 13-5 now, the Cougars.
1-3-1 is really giving Kentucky some problems in setting up their offense. And with no clock, it shouldn't be a problem.
Turpin and Akeem will commit the foul. The basket will count.
Good job by Turpin again. Used his left hand to shield Akeem's arm a little bit. Excellent shot inside. Kentucky's starting to settle down. Now watch him use the left hand. There's the left hand, which actually blocked Akeem's right hand for blocking it. That's an NBA call offensive often.
Well, Turpin's rap this year is he hasn't been consistent, but he has started very effectively here. 13-7, Houston to the lead. 14 minutes to go in the first half.
Look for Geddes to start taking some jump shots if he's going to feed Akeem that easily. That's another goaltend.
They got this one.
Sure. Sam Bowie is actually laying off his man, who's Winslow, and playing right under the basket, so you can't block a shot from that tight end.
15-7, the Cougars. Well, look at them pressure him. They come out on defense. We're going to have a foul on Franklin.
Pretty good double team.
This is the anniversary weekend of a big game that was played in basketball. We'll talk about it halftime, but also this is the start of Super Bowl Sunday. The 18th Super Bowl from Tampa to follow this game.
Masters wide open for that jump shot. He's got to look to take it.
Walker can't control it. Harden against Akeem, who blocked it. Bowie is there.
Good move by Harden, though, Gary. The guards from Kentucky have got to start putting up the ball and make the defense respect it. Franklin's eating them alive.
And Bowie tries to challenge him. Franklin's just going by him. Both Blackman and now Roger Harden.
Nobody has stopped that penetration at all, and if you don't stop them, what that means is the big people have to come over to help out on Franklin. When they do, leaves Akeem and Winslow wide open for easy dumps.
Harden with a foul, his first third-team foul against Kentucky. Franklin playing with such confidence. Akeem off to Young. Akeem
got away with a walk on that play. I think the official's a little bit awed by this game.
Oh. Well, Guy Lewis said sometimes that they start calling goaltending on Akeem because they just feel he can't possibly get to all the shots that he does.
He put that one home.
Oh. 17-9. Houston Houston. Harden, a very good shooter, but he gets that one.
He's playing a smart game, Gary. That's 2 in a row that he's made the defense respect him. And Joe Hall, he gave a big sigh of relief. He can get some play out of the guards.
Well, Harden's let his whole game be affected by his poor shooting. But that time, he has a confidence builder.
Former Mr. Basketball of Indiana. Got to be able to shoot it.
Boy, they're getting the ball in low. And Hakeem walked with it this time.
There he goes. He spins. Michael Young goes up. Misses the shot. Look at Hakeem. Slams that through about 1.5 feet over the basket.
Walker, who's been so consistent for this team, the sophomore out of Georgia.
Getty's pulling out on Harden a little bit. That's going to open up a passing lane.
Kentucky's hit 4 of 7. There's a reach in by Geddes. It'll go off of Geddes.
Gary, at 6'7", Geddes surprises a lot of people. They don't expect a guard out there in that part of the zone to be that big.
He was the 6th man a year ago, a starter this. There's timeout, 12:07 left in the first half. 6-point lead by Houston.
Chevy Tough is taking charge. Moisture and road salt are murder on a pickup, but Tough Chevy S10 comes with built-in corrosion-fighting zinc alloy steel, zinc pro metal, and large quantities of tough galvanized steel to help guard against rust. A whopping 277 square feet. Enough zinc-rich steel to make its own garage. For year-round protection, Chevy S10's got you covered with corrosion-fighting steel. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
This is the place for the real taste of beer. Pabst is the place. There's just no doubt about it.
I think there's more flavor to it than other beers. I think Pabst is good beer.
Pabst is the place. Your good friends all around you for the real taste of beer. And all the good times you have here.
You know it's always going to taste good. That's what counts.
For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place.
Forget everything you know about shaving and get ready for the extraordinary. Get ready for new Edge Extra Gel. The extraordinary new gel with over 40% more lubricants than the leading foam. For extraordinary closeness. Extraordinary comfort. Experience new Edge Extra Gel.
At halftime, we'll have a report live. A report from Super Bowl 18, the Redskins against the Raiders. Everyone figures that to be a classic. In this game, they called this the Dream. So what a Super Sunday we have. A dream matchup and a classic to follow. 12:07 to go in this first half. Houston leads it 17-11.
Houston sticking right with that 2-3 zone as they started from the outset, and Kentucky sticking right with their man-to-man on the other end.
Harden to Bowie.
Gary, that was the difference between the pass by Harden and the pass by Blackman. It was thrown up above the white square. Bowie can go and get it up there.
After practice, both Harden and Bowie stayed an extra 30 minutes to work on that very play, and they really executed well there.
Bowie's really laying off Winslow. Winslow's got to pick up a little slack to getting closer to his jump shot.
Winston Bennett, number 25, is checked into the lineup for Kentucky. A 6'7 freshman out of Louisville. Franklin goes by Harden again. Oh, look at Hakeem reach over, and that's going to be a foul on him.
Good block out by Melvin Turpin. And by putting the body on and staying on Hakeem, Turpin was able to bring up the foul.
Louisville, boy, they've come on now. Denny Crum's team at halftime leading. A sellout crowd at Rupp Arena. The Kentucky Wildcats have won 15 straight at home, leading this Houston team and trailing 17-13.
Boy, he's going to try to block this.
And he did, but he committed the foul.
Might have got him with the body, but Sam Bowie is not going to be intimidated by a potential slammer, jammer, dunk. You watch him come. Now, the ball hit off a Houston player, but it was an accidental kick. Now, watch Sam Bowie. Excellent timing. Got him a little bit with the body, but he was right on the ball with the hand.
Michael Young, who the pros tell us will be one of the first 8 draft picks this year. Senior out of Yates High School in Houston, which is right across the street from the University of Houston.
Gary, I wasn't exaggerating when I said on these 2 ball clubs, and you see Guy Lewis, he can't stand to watch him shoot those free throws. I wasn't exaggerating when I feel that there are 10 first-round draft choices on these 2 teams. Not all in the same class, obviously, but over the period of time.
Young hits one of the two, makes it 18-13.
Kentucky's starting to get used to the press a little better.
There's Winslow again. Boy, he has come up with a lot of those passes.
Their tempo is right to go against the press, but the decision in passing and the passing lanes are not there.
Joe B. Hall's team now has 9 turnovers, and he is just standing in disbelief.
Dennis got to get a little closer to shoot the jump shot.
3 men sagging on Akeem. There's Young again. Boy, he's fun to watch.
He had a little bit of slump. He got hit in the face by Bennett.
7 points now for Michael Young. Back to a 7-point lead for the Cougars. There's Winslow again. He seems to be always around the ball defensively.
Jerry, what Kentucky's got to do, they're playing a 1-3-1 trapping press here. Kentucky has to get Houston back to the 2-3 zone. So don't try to beat the press all the way to the basket. Just try to get it into your half-court offense.
Winston Bennett will be charging. Charged into Akeem, trying to find an area, and it wasn't there.
What they have to do is basically work the court down in sections. Beat the full court pressure and get into their half-court offense, and then start against the 2-3 zone. They're trying to go full length of the court all the way down into the basket. It's not there.
5 team fouls now against Kentucky. Geddes. Akeem loves to play with Geddes because he says he gets the ball into me, and you saw it there.
Geddes' man keeps sloughing back off inside, and Geddes ought to get in with about 18 feet and get a lot of jump shots.
Again, he get it to Akeem. There's another goaltending on Sam Bowie.
No question.
But again, the magic is Geddes. He just keeps going back to him.
Sure, there it is. Sam Bowie sees standing right in the basket. Actually hit his head on the net. So you can't be that close to the basket and get away with a clean block.
Came back to Olajuwon with 8 points.
Now here they beat the press. Now they go against the 2-3 zone. Much better way for him to work.
Melvin Turpin challenging Akeem. He's done a good job against Akeem.
And they get in a half-court offense. They're doing pretty well.
7 points for Turpin. Less than 10 minutes to go in the first half. Geddes hasn't been shooting the ball, but he is an excellent outside shooter.
And today he could have a big day because his man is dropping back to try to help out with Akeem.
Young's not hesitant. Rebound Harden. Akeem gets it away, and he traveled with it. No basket. Akeem travels with the ball, but there's a 7-footer on the floor going after it.
A great athlete. Tremendous quickness. Was that soccer goalie used to going down there and grabbing that ball?
Billy, they were telling me he weighed 190 pounds when he came from Nigeria. Now he weighs 250. That's hard to believe that he could have been that skinny.
He told us he had a 7'5" brother, too, and didn't have one. So I'm not believing any of his stats anymore.
Here's Master. Again, Jim just isn't loading up like he used to. He's a little hesitant, and then they're on him. Harden's not afraid to.
You made a good point there. What Harden did is he anticipated he had the shot before he caught the ball. Masters wait until he catches it and then starting to look for the shot.
Well, Harden didn't start, but he's come back in, and he'll be starting the next game the way he's playing now. He has 4 points. Here's Winslow, and he walked to the ball.
Good defense by Bowie.
Winslow, out of the same high school that produced Michael Young. We have 5 turnovers against Houston, 11 against Kentucky. I suppose some of it's the jitters. Big game like this.
Harden seems to have a pretty good understanding of what to do against the press. He's getting his team back down to where they can work their offense.
He's going to pop another one.
He got fouled.
Oh, perfect.
Melvin Turpin having a pretty good first half.
He did not play well Friday against Vanderbilt, but he has 9 points already here.
Watch Akeem try to retaliate.
There's Turpin with a steal. Tended for Bowie, but Geddes is there instead.
Wide open is Winslow.
Master gets back 2-on-1. Franklin, Turpin will foul him.
Good hustle by Melvin Turpin. Even though he committed the foul, you really got to credit him for hustling down the court. He went 90 feet to get over there on this one. Smart job by Winslow to give it up. And here comes Melvin Turpin. He came the whole 90 feet to make that attempted block, but did commit the foul.
Turpin committing the personal foul, and it's his second. 16 foul against Kentucky. Franklin averaging this year a little over 10 points. A lot of people lose sight of the fact that he was an outstanding shooter in high school. He averaged over 27 points.
Great
first half.
And Master not quite ready to shoot that jumper as he catches the ball. That's a bad pass. He couldn't shoot it from there.
Winston Bennett, he's a warrior. Watch him take it. Boy, great hustle by Sam. Here's Turpin again. Hakeem.
That's 2 blocks in a row by Hakeem, and he'll get your attention.
107 blocks, Billy, coming into this game. Last year, he led the nation with 175. He'll be way past that mark when this season is over. There's timeout.
It begins as a dream, a vision of Olympic glory reserved for the very few. A dream that will bring the fleet and the strong to Los Angeles in 1984. And Transamerica Insurance and Transamerica Occidental Life will support these dreams by insuring the Olympic Games. Because our business is insuring people's dreams. Transamerica Insurance, Finance, Manufacturing, Transportation, Innovation. The power of the pyramid is working for you.
Move into more celebrity excitement. The new front drive Celebrity Eurosport. Special F41 sports suspension straightens out curves in a car that looks as special as it feels. Move into more celebrity. Eurosport. A touch of Europe at a Chevrolet price. Chevrolet! And you.
Taking charge.
That's a big step, Tom.
I'm still gonna go to college, Dad, but after the Army.
I thought you wanted to be an electrical engineer.
I'll be learning about electronics. Then I can qualify for the Army College Fund.
If you qualify, the Army College Fund will help you accumulate as much as $20,100 for tuition.
So you're going to be a soldier.
Be all that you can be. And an engineer. You can do it.
Be a good one.
In the Army.
The drama, the emotion, the excitement. This is the magic of college basketball. Follow the magic next weekend on CBS Sports.
So many outstanding athletes, and speaking of outstanding athletes, near the conclusion of this game, Billy Packer and I will select a Chevrolet most valuable player from each team, and Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the general scholarship fund of each school. We have some changes now. Cadillac has come in. Greg Anderson, the 6'10 freshman, number 55, has come in for the Houston Cougars.
There's a shot.
Nope, he didn't want it, Billy.
Little late setting that gun.
Turpin wants it. That was a tough shot, though. Young with the rebound. 23-19. Houston with the lead, approaching 7 minutes to go until half. Hakeem off to Young. And Bowie is there, all 7'1" of him.
Young really has to remind people from Kentucky of Jack Givens.
The foul on Anderson.
How about Winston Bennett? What an athlete. Again, Harden doing a good job forcing that ball forward. Winston Bennett going way up on Anderson. And gets it in, has a chance for the three-pointer.
Winston Bennett out of Louisville, one of the few players in a long time to come to the University of Kentucky from that city.
Excellent timing. Harden's having an excellent first half. Pushing the ball down the floor, setting up his teammates well.
Turpin had it for a moment. Boy, it's physical. Franklin challenges Harden.
Again, nobody stopping Franklin in a man-to-man situation. He went right by Harden.
Hakeem with 10 points. Back to a 4-point lead now for the Cougars.
Really like Guy Lewis's strategy in this defensive setup.
Bennett again. Blocked by Hakeem. It'll be Kentucky's ball. Bennett, in the estimation of Joe B. Hall, is a coach's dream. He is such a hustler. And again, Bill, you have to remind yourself, this is his first year in the big time.
Another Mr. Basketball. He's from the state of Kentucky.
Harden to Bowie. Not able to handle it.
Ball went up a little hot.
Boy, they're going to let him go for it, aren't they? They're going to have a jump ball, and it will go to Houston on the alternating held ball rule. Let him go to the floor, don't they? Let him go after it. And now Anderson will check out. Ricky Winslow will come back into the Cougar lineup.
Guy Lewis telling Anderson he's got to be prepared going up against these kind of athletes to be back on defense alertly.
Anderson, another one of those players out of the Houston area. It's a tough baptism coming into this game.
Team catches that ball so well in traffic.
3 men on him, and he walked with it. What Guy Lewis, Billy, wants wants him to do in that situation is kick it back out and then let him bring it back in.
Well, one of the things hurting him a little bit, Gary, is that Geddes is not taking up the slack. When he passes inside, his man's leaving him. He's got to get in a little closer. So when he gets the ball back out, he's got a jump shot.
3 guys around him. He's just shuffling those feet too much. 5:55 left. Halftime again. We'll have a live report from Tampa. Super Bowl 18.
Bowie wants that ball.
Master, that's the problem. He's not hitting that shot that used to be an automatic. Hakeem with another rebound. His 5th of the game.
Franklin by the guards again.
Winslow. There's Young. And Young walked with the ball.
Good offensive rebound by Young, though. We saw Michael Jordan, one of the most explosive offensive rebounders, been in college basketball in a while, and Young did the same thing. I mentioned Jack Gibbons. He was that guy with that soft left-handed shot here for Kentucky when they won a national crown in '78.
He's a native of Lexington. 25-21, Houston.
Master got to look for that shot again, even when he missed. Kind of like down the Pan Am game.
And now Winston Bennett is called for charging. That's 2 charges on him. But you have to like his tenacity. He just doesn't back off from anybody.
Best thing about it, Joe Halls can go to his bench. He's going to come back in with Kenny Walker. Now, he's got those 2 fellas can afford to play that way because they're not worried about foul trouble.
Walker replaced Bennett. There he is. And Bennett trying to make some things happen inside. Got in a little bit of foul trouble. There's your time left in the first half. Hakeem blocked by 2 men that time. Turpin and Bowie. He's got to get the ball out of there. A hell ball. And this one will go to Kentucky.
That's right. Good defense by Kenny Walker. And again, going back to the early part of the year, team has got to realize when there are that many men around him, somebody has got to be wide open. Excellent defense that time by both Bowie and Turpin.
Bowie, Turpin, and Hakeem were on a preseason All-American trip this year. They had hoped that they could play each other, so they're trying to challenge each other. And there's Kenny Walker who comes in and nails one.
Kentucky pulls within 2. Remember, it was, what, 11-1?
They had a lead of 8, the biggest thus far for Houston.
Good screen on Kenny Walker.
Oh, Young quiets the crowd for a moment.
Winslow hadn't been on the board yet, but he set a super screen that time for Young.
Young with 9 points. Turpin to Walker again, and Kenny going to be called for traveling. He shuffled the foot just as he went into the paint.
That's a late whistle, but it was an active one.
Now Anderson is coming back in for Houston again. Greg Anderson, number 55.
Team going out. Now, Gary, we don't have a clock in this game today. It's be a very good time for Houston to sit on the ball a little bit. Let Hakeem get a rest. They'd love to have him sitting over there. He's got 2 fouls on him? Or just 1?
Hakeem has 2 fouls.
2 fouls.
There's another man in now, number 15, Eric Dickens.
Be a good time to sit on the ball a little bit. Try to maintain the lead. 2 fine players sitting on the bench.
Here is Dickens. Dickens, a junior out of Houston. Winslow.
He walks.
Now Geddes his first opportunity. Bowie is there. Sam playing with some emotion.
Houston fans probably going crazy. I say sitting the ball a little bit, thinking about the NC State game, but it'd be good strategy for them now. They don't want to get in a run-shoot game with 2 of their aces sitting on the bench.
Young, off it goes to Winslow. Oh, nice drive, but not there. Foul will go on Anderson over the back of Walker.
Now, the backboard is still vibrating from Sam Bowie coming down there and smacking it. Not to say that it altered the shot. He really gave it a hammer.
I don't think Winslow is used to guys catching up with him. He was open, and all of a sudden, the Wildcats closed ground on him.
He might have been better off just going right to the hoop with that one. Hakeem's got to come back in.
Hakeem will come in. Anderson picking up his 2nd foul. Anderson's going to stay in. They're going to take instead Winslow out. At the line with 4 points is Walker, and Bowie sits down. Bowie's playing at about 65% efficiency as far as the physical development is concerned. Coming back from that stress fracture of his shin bone. They hope. Joe Hall hopes he's 80% by postseason play.
Sam Bowie's elbow hurts, and that's what might have hit the backboard.
It's a problem when you're 7'1" to get up there.
And moving that speed.
Kenny Walker makes it 27-24, looking for his 6th point.
Another one of the outstanding high school players out of the state of Georgia, which is really starting to turn out a bunch of blue chippers.
We have a timeout. 3:41 to go. We have a 2-point game in this place called Rupp Arena.
Chevrolet taking charge.
4 years ago, we introduced Chevy Citation, and it became America's most popular front-drive car. But that wasn't good enough for the engineers. Since that time, they've improved its performance, improved its ride, improved its comfort. And after making so many engineering refinements, we made one more change. The name. Announcing Chevy Citation 2.
Chevrolet.
Only you.
Taking charge.
Roger, Control. T-minus 5 and counting. 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. We have liftoff, Control. Roger. Looking good. Looks like a beauty. Congratulations, everyone.
It's a dynamite taste.
America's meat and potatoes, McDonald's Quarter Pounder and fries. You're gonna be ready for it.
No one plays harder than America. All your meat and potato guys. Slam bam, building up an appetite for a quarter pounder, Coca-Cola and fries. A down-home taste from a down-home place.
McDonald's Quarter Pounder and fries. America's meat and potatoes. Dig in.
McDonald's and you.
The magic of CBS Sports Sunday is the WBC Super Lightweight Championship, World Cup Skiing, and the World Speed Skating Championships next weekend on CBS Sports.
At halftime, a Super Bowl report. Irv Cross is with the Washington Redskins. They're en route to the stadium. Jim Hill with the Los Angeles Raiders. Also game conditions, and we've been told they're going to be very, very excellent for that game. Super Bowl 18, a live report at half.
Gary, how many minutes before a football game do guys go to the field?
Boy, it varies. Some guys go on their own early, start taping up.
So they don't go like college teams on the bus all together.
It really is an interesting phenomenon that some players want to be there 3-4 hours before, and others just want to walk in and go on the field. Coming back into the ball game, no, first time, correction. Derek Giles, number 11, has come in, and Geddes sits down. Now they have 3 guys that they'll send in.
Melvin Turpin came in without reporting and really got lucky there, because if they put the ball in play, he'd have had a technical. Now Sam Bowie goes out on the sidelines.
Now Anderson's coming out of the ball game. What Houston has, Billy, as you look at Anderson, they have the Smothers brothers. They'll bring in 3 guys, Giles, Thomas, and Dickens, and they'll go full court. Now they only have 2 of them in right now, and we have a foul before the ball is inbounds.
I think the referees are just going to settle people down.
A little pushing and shoving.
Good piece of officiating here. Everybody trying to grab for position. Winslow put an elbow right through Harden's jaw.
Harden's a tough guy, though. Well, they broke that easily, didn't they?
Michael Young coming back. That's where that experienced player really helps. Kentucky pushing their defense out a little bit now.
Here's Giles out of Queens, New York. He's a junior college transfer. Started some games, as did Dickens a year ago, and Young walked with it. Boy, there's a lot of traveling calls in this game. That's 10 turnovers against Houston.
You know why? Very simple. When you've got shot blockers like Turpin back there and Bowie and Olajuwon, everybody hesitates a little bit and doesn't get into the normal flow of offense.
That little stutter step, it doesn't work. Kentucky now with a chance to tie it. Boy, he altered the shot that time for Akeem, and it's tied up.
Good penetration by the guard. Forces Akeem to come out and pick up, and when he does that, there's nobody back there to rebound. Told you Kentucky would be back in this before halftime.
Roger Harden commits the foul. Well, they were down by 8, but they've come storming back to tie it up, and now we've gone into the 1-and-1 situation. 7th team foul against Kentucky.
Harden's really fired up there talking to Joe Hall. I noticed watching them play the other night against Vanderbilt, when Harden's listening to Joe Hall, he never looks at him.
And he likes his toughness, mental, physical toughness, and he's come in and hasn't been intimidated. Boy, again, an impressive rebound. Kentucky can take the lead for the first time. And Akeem has committed the foul.
Number 3.
That's exactly what Guy V. Lewis did not want, was to get him in foul trouble.
Got to take him out now. Good push ahead by Kentucky. Blackman takes it right to the hoop. Akeem blocks the shot, but hits him with the body. Akeem's got a 6. Gary, that's That's why I mentioned a few minutes ago. Go ahead and put the ball in the deep freeze a little while to keep a team on the bench, to rest him one, and to keep him away from getting foul number 3.
Akeem has fouled out of 3 games this year, but none of them were important situations. The game was already out of reach. Not so today. He's got to really be careful.
And he hasn't played against anybody with 2 players like Turpin and Bowie that he's got to watch.
We got to have a big, strong performance now from Anderson, who comes in at the pivot spot with 3:01 to go in the first half. Kentucky with a 1-point lead. Bennett. And another foul. It's going to go on Winslow.
Kentucky really sensing the kill now, going right at Houston.
They really squeezed that zone in, haven't they?
One of the things with Olajuwon out of there, you notice how confident he becomes. They take the ball right down the throat.
Winslow committing the personal foul. And against Winslow, his second. 2 points for Winston Bennett. Same high school, Male High School, that produced Darrell Griffith, the great All-American at Louisville.
It's a little hot.
Bennett is not shooting that well. As you can see, 39.7% from the field. But one of the reasons he plays so hard, that it affects his shooting a little bit.
72% from the line. Winslow again showing that deep in the building, going after that rebound.
1-point lead for the Wildcats.
Young almost walking again.
You see the time left in the first half. Dickens to try one, and they need a shot like that from a guy coming off the bench.
Here comes the pressure.
The Smothers brothers going after him. Blackman back into his fellow freshman teammate Bennett. Look at him. He goes in there with a purpose. A foul on Young.
Young came over to help out a little bit. Winslow did a pretty good job, but Bennett is so quick in there. Watch this fake. Through the legs, comes back, gets the ball back. Good pump fake, steps around, and there's Young coming over for the foul.
What a combination those two are going to be for the next 4 years. Blackman and Bennett, the B&B boys. 2 points now for Bennett. He's 0 for 3 from the line and now 0 for 4. Again, he just plays so hard, he gets himself into a lather, and then you got to walk up, collect your thoughts, and be able to shoot a free throw.
He has good form. As I said, he's shooting 72%. He should start hitting them.
2-point. He hits from the line, and it's tied up 29 all. There's Giles.
You're Houston now. You have to wonder where the points are coming from. Probably Young.
Young's really being played tough by Walker. They switched that, and Walker's done a much better job since early in the game. Dickens trying to create something off of Kentucky.
Really wasn't there because Sam Bowie did not alter his defensive stance and stayed right with the passing outlet instead of going for the block.
Geddes will come in, replace Dickens for Guy Lewis. This Houston team coming in here with a 16-2 record. They've won 6 in a row, 30 straight in Southwest Conference play.
All-time record. Kentucky really playing tough defense. Now with Olajuwon out there, you notice how everybody's playing their man much better. They don't have to help out on Olajuwon.
Boy, with yet another defensive board. He has 8 rebounds in this game. Blackman. Basket will count, but it'll be a charge on Blackman.
I really believe when a man's in the air like that, that should be a no call. Blackman committed himself. Now you'll see it right here. Harden is doing a great job. Blackman goes up. Young comes over with no intention to defend at all, merely to draw the charge afterwards. Blackman's got to have some room to come down. In those instances, if the referee can start setting the tempo, that's a no call. Guys don't come over there.
Young with 9 points. Bowie's there again. School's out on the defensive boards with Bowie. There's a steal. That's the Smothers brothers.
Harden's had such a good first half. That's a charge.
That's Young, who's done it twice to Blackman. That's 2 calls like that.
Now, what most people feel, and it's a confusion about the rules, the fans get nervous. They say they had to give the man room. When you have the ball in your possession as the dribbler, there is no time and distance involved. It's your responsibility to get out of the way of the defense. Good call.
3 fouls on Blackman, 2 of them by the charging variety. 31 all, 1:25 left in the first half.
Hanging in here surprisingly well with Olajuwon on the bench.
Can't find the opening. shot. Some action inside, and who's this foul on?
Might be Winslow, I believe, coming over the back again.
Yeah, that'll be 3 on him.
Guy Lewis probably going to have to take him out of the ball game, too, and here comes Dickie Beal.
Now, Dickie Beal has been a real story this year. He's coming back from knee surgery. He's had a stomach virus, tendonitis. He has not played, and Joe B. Hall says he has to play for us to be successful.
Now, Gary, you have the Smothers brothers in their entirety.
Yep, there's Ronaldo Thomas out of Gary, Indiana. So the 3 brothers are in with 102. They're going to try to create something defensively.
He's got one of those shaved heads. I'm calling it the Lou Gossett look-alike contest. And so far, Herman Veal from Maryland's getting my prize.
About Lorenzo Charles.
But Herman Veal looks like Gossett.
Bennett now starting to zero in at the line. Kentucky by 1.
He's getting the stroke now.
5 points for Winston Bennett. 2-point lead for Kentucky.
Dickie Beal had blazing quickness before his injury.
Bennett trying to draw a charge on Thomas. No call on that one. Here is Thomas, who transferred from the University of San Francisco when they dropped basketball, and Bowie, great effort by Sam.
See, Kentucky now not having to worry about Olajuwon's presence down low. It's overplaying every passing lane. It's really tough for Houston. They have to start going back door a little bit.
They have a small lineup in there now.
43 seconds to go. They should hold it for 1.
Here's Anderson. Giles against Harden. Look at this. Anderson. And we're going to have a foul. It's going to go on Sam Bowie. Let's wait. Nope, it's going to go to the other end.
Push it in. Bowie's really been a tower of strength on the boards. Anderson does a nice job getting it out. Shot goes up. Bowie getting great position. Kenny Walker blocking out nicely. It was the push off. Anderson gets it up. Bowie's still hanging in there. Now they go over. Bowie's back to the foul.
DB and Eric Dickens. Bowie at the free throw line with 6 points but 9 rebounds. It was a pretty strong move by Anderson, though. The ball just didn't go for it.
Really felt that down 2, Houston have been a lot better off. In the lane too soon was
Winston Bennett. He jumped across before the ball was released. And now a chance to tie the game with 28 seconds. Houston.
Houston just doesn't believe, I guess, in going for 1. You're down 2 and you don't want to get down any further. Michael Young posting up inside on Walker. Walker doing a good job.
Young's really been shut down by Walker. Here's Anderson again. Doesn't get the bounce.
10 seconds. Harden's got to move it up court quickly.
Dickie Beal to Walker. So after trailing by 8, Kentucky has a 4-point lead at halftime, 35-31. NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station.
Follow the rainbow to a galaxy of superstars and see the best perform their magic. The NBA All-Star Game, next Sunday on CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
Hello, this is Dick Hacker, your Radio Shack dealer in Winchester. And I'm so excited that I can't stand it to tell you about the greatest thing that's ever hit TV reception, satellite TVs. Yes, this high technology can bring over 100 channels into your home crystal clear. We at Radio Shack of Winchester have a full line of receivers, dishes, anything you need for space-age TV. Satellite TV is here now at the Radio Shack of Winchester. Give us a call today.
From the slapstick of Laurel and Hardy to the precision of the Rockettes, throughout history, we've seen teamwork bring out the best in individuals to produce results as momentous as the original 7 astronauts. Now, Central Kentucky has a team of Chevy dealers who are working together to bring you the best selection and buys on a new Chevrolet. When you buy at any one of the super selling Chevy dealers, you'll know you've got the power of the Chevy team behind you. The super selling Chevy team, making history.
WKYT-TV, Channel 27, Lexington.
Welcome to Tampa, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger, and of course, in the next few hours, right after the basketball game, the Super Bowl today, and then the game itself, the Washington Redskins and the Los Angeles Raiders, and we have an absolutely glorious afternoon for a football game. 60 degrees right now, no rain in sight down here, but the winds could be tricky as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. They are now out of the northeast at 15 miles an hour. They gust somewhat in this stadium, so that indeed could be a factor as the game itself unfolds. Now, how about the teams, the Redskins and the Raiders? Well, our Irv Cross has been standing by with the Redskins, some of them now getting in the bus. We saw Joe Theismann a moment ago. Let's go to Irv for a report on the Redskins. Irv?
Yeah. I'm standing in front of the second of the Redskins team buses. The first left at 1 o'clock. This one's scheduled to leave any second right now, but Coach Gibbs brought his club out here, and they had their pregame meal about noon, and as far as they're concerned, business as usual. They organized themselves, ready to go out and have the opening kickoff in just a few minutes. But the biggest story coming out of camp this morning is there's a rumor that perhaps some of the Redskin players are suffering from the flu. Among those players are John Riggins and Charlie Brown. John Riggins you don't know about, but I talked to Charlie Brown. He said he had a little touch of the flu, but he feels fine. He went on the first bus, and he'll be at the stadium this afternoon playing. Brent.
All right, Irv, thank you. You know, not all the players take the bus. Some of them got in a cab. In fact, Lyle Alzado of the Raiders, he was over here at about 8 o'clock this morning, just kind of moseying around, relaxing. And meanwhile, Jim Hill, he's been back there at the Raiders Hotel. And, Jim, I understand there was some lively music over your way this morning.
It certainly was, Brent. It was about 8:30 this morning when all of a sudden we heard this band start to play. It disturbed some of the Raiders. They called downstairs and tried to get the band to shut up. Obviously, the band was here playing for a pregame brunch. Some of the players were a little bothered about it. Other players didn't bother them at all. The players had their pregame meal about 12:30, and immediately some of them went over to the stadium, and they're probably there right now as they joined Lyle Alzado, as you mentioned, who got there earlier. I talked to Henry Lawrence, a fine offensive tackle. Henry told me, surprisingly, he feels that they're going to defeat the Washington Redskins by a big margin. Mike Davis, their brilliant free safety, told me that he felt a good game was coming on. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what those predictions are like. But the Raiders today were cool, calm, and collected. No one injured. They're all set and ready to go.
Jim, do you get any kind of a feeling at all that they are overconfident in the Raiders camp? They're always saying they're going to win big. Do you sense that at all? You know the Raiders very well.
The Raiders have always been a team, Brent, that likes to be very, very confident, so to speak. And it's sometimes very difficult to read a particular football team and to see exactly what they're going to do and say. Some of the players feel that way. Some of the players openly admit that they think they're going to have a big game today, while there are others who are more conservative. People like Cliff Branch, who this is his third Super Bowl. He's had his game face on ever since he got here on Monday night. He hasn't had too much to say. He just says that he hopes that they win, while others are saying that they're going to win big.
All right, Jim, thank you. We look forward to that game, the Redskins and the Raiders, and of course, just as soon as this basketball game is over, we'll begin everything with the Super Bowl today on CBS. And our coverage now of the Kentucky-Houston game continues in just a moment.
I know I don't look it, but I have sensitive skin.
So do I.
I have it too. Every time I shave, I get scraped right here.
I feel it right here.
Here's where I feel it. That's why I use Aftershave Skin Conditioner. After's different. It's a rich lotion. Hey, let me try that. It soothes razor-scraped sensitive skin.
Feels nice.
Smells good, too. Hey, give me back my After.
Sensible care for sensitive skin. Aftershave Skin Conditioner.
By Menon.
If outlets always seem to be out of reach, get the help of quality electrical supplies from True Value Hardware stores. Put appliances and power tools where you need them with the Master Electrician 3-foot multi-outlet power center, just $249. Or extend the reach of your telephone 50 feet with the Snap-it Portaphone cord reel for only $9.99. And for electrical repairs, get the Master Electrician Crimp and Cut Kit for just $5.99 from participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers.
You know, at Midas, we've installed over 48 million mufflers, more than any other muffler chain. In fact, compare us to any of them, and you know what you'll find?
We've had more repeat customers than they've had customers.
We've done more foreign cars than they've done cars.
And with our Midas guarantee, we've installed more free mufflers than they've sold. When it comes to experience, no one can touch Midas.
Trust the Midas touch.
Baseball star Jim Palmer.
I'll never worry about dandruff again. Sound impossible? Not with Tegrin shampoo.
Tegrin has special medicine, so I don't worry about itching or flaking, and I don't worry about dandruff, even if I don't shampoo for a day or two. The Tegrin test convinced me. Tegrin controlled my dandruff not just 1 day or 2 days, but 3 days. I don't worry about dandruff anymore, so why should you? Use Tegrin. Tegrin works day after day after day.
Halftime score, Kentucky leading Houston 35-31. And this is Super Bowl Sunday, but also this weekend marks the 16th anniversary, the game of the century, when Houston defeated UCLA 71-69 before, at that time, a season record crowd of 52,000 in the Astrodome. It was the first regular season game that was nationally televised, and Billy, it really launched college basketball into a new era of popularity.
Well, it did, Gary, but if you watch the game and television, televising of the game, it really changed a lot. There is Lou Alcindor in those days, now Kareem Jordan. But look at the defense. No pressure on the ball. Guys standing straight up and down. And we're talking about Johnny Wooden defense. The days when Kareem got the ball almost uncontested there to take turnaround jumpers, basketball has really changed in that period of time.
Boy, what a game the Big E had. He could hit from anywhere. He ended up that game with 39 points and 15 rebounds. Houston then later met UCLA, remember, in the Final Four.
Lost 2 in the Final Four that year. Actually came in 4th place, if that's what you want to call it.
So Houston with another excellent team. We had an unbelievable finish to a game last night in the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. The Orangemen were playing Boston College. We're going to pick up the last seconds of the game and show you one of the most remarkable shots you're going to see in some time. It came from the Pearl Washington, the outstanding freshman for the Orangemen. Let's pick it up now with 8 seconds.
Jay Murphy's going to take a jumper here. He shoots the jump shot, patented shot inside. Martin Clark gets it and puts it back up. Now, Syracuse at this point undefeated in the Big East. It looks like it's going down the drain. Clark misses. Rebound goes out. Now watch Pearl. Stops at half court. Nothing but net. That's what legends are made of, and he's going to be one of those before he gets out of that
He's
school.
known as a penetrating guard, but he can also shoot the ball.
Penetrate to half court and take the one-hander.
So Syracuse is 6-0 in the Big East. We're going to be back to take a look at our shot chart and update the statistics in this first 20 minutes of play.
Over the years, every Mercedes-Benz has expressed the standards of its heritage. Now a new class of Mercedes-Benz does the same. Its lean, trim appearance may surprise you. Its quick, agile performance may astonish you. Introducing the 190 class, the world's most revered automotive standards in an entirely new Mercedes-Benz.
State Farm agent Pam Johnson on life insurance.
The key in life insurance is listening to the policyholder and trying to determine what that policyholder needs. Now, when a policyholder comes in this office, they don't know that they need whole life or term insurance, but they do know what they want to protect. And so it's my responsibility to sit there and let them talk and listen to them, and then try to tailor our life insurance products to their needs.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When an alkaline battery goes dead, you throw it away and buy a new one. This is a GE rechargeable. When it goes dead, you recharge it. It costs more than batteries you throw away, but lasts up to 4 years. Used 10 hours a week, this toy would use over 300 long-life batteries to just 2 GE rechargeables. So if you're still throwing away batteries, you're throwing away a lot of money.
Now there's a marathon with many competitors, but no competition. The Xerox 1045 Marathon Copier. It's so advanced in design, it can be adapted to run 8 different ways. So intelligent, it can think for itself. And so rugged, it can run hour after hour. The Xerox 1045 Marathon Copier, built to shatter the record for endurance. From Xerox.
What is the magic of CBS Sports? It's the race cam that puts you in the driver's seat at the Daytona 500. Follow the magic on CBS Sports.
We'll have more NCAA basketball action after this word from your local station.
Thursday, in a special CBS movie presentation, Stacy Keach is Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer in the world premiere of More Than Murder, Thursday.
This is CBS.
Pepperell Carpet, this season's most highly sought performer, steps to the line for a 1+1. It's the top point scorer in durability, luxury, practicality, and quality. It's up and it's in. Another premier performance you just can't miss with Pepperell Carpet.
Beautiful, durable Pepperell Carpet. It's available at London Carpet and Linoleum Center, 320 East 4th Street, London, Kentucky.
Monday, January 23rd at 5:30. WKYT's John Lindgren welcomes a fresh new face to News Center 27. Mary Carr joins John, Brad, and Rob as co-anchor on the 5:30 and 11 o'clock news. Mary Carr, you'll welcome her as a meaningful addition to your source for news every time you turn to WKYT's News Center 27. Expanding to keep your confidence. Turn to News Center 27. Now even better.
Houston and Kentucky is sponsored by Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Gillette Atra Razor, the twin blade razor that pivots for a close, comfortable shave.
Halftime, Kentucky, after trailing by 8 in the first half, lead by 4 at the intermission, 35-31. And Billy Packer, as you look at the statistics in this first half, Kentucky shooting much better from the field at 58%.
Particularly when you take in consideration, Gary, they went a long time without getting on the board at all. And here you have some stats up there. And field goal shooting percentage for Houston way down. They're not being able to get it going from the outside.
Now the rebounds, Bowie has half of those rebounds for Kentucky as they lead. The turnovers, that's got to concern both sides.
Primarily, though, Kentucky had a lot of turnovers very early in the first half. They're settling down a lot, and since Harden came in the game, they got into their half-court offense much better.
Billy, we build this as Akeem the Dream against the Twin Towers, and so we're going to go to the shot chart and depict what has actually happened as far as block shots and intimidations.
Well, many times the block shots get in the stats, but in my mind, if you're a defensive player and you can intimidate a shot, that's almost as good as a block shot because you start altering shots. And what we had today, down on the end in regard to Kentucky, these are the Twin Towers. Primarily, though, it's been Bowie. They've been able to go ahead and alter 6 shots and actually block 2 of them. And in addition to that, Sam Bowie has 2 goaltending violations, which also intimidate a team a great deal. So inside the paint, they have done an excellent job. Down on the other end of the floor, Akeem Olajuwon. Incredible defensive performer, even though he's picked up 3 fouls, and you can imagine that because he's got to take up a lot of territory. He's blocked 2, and he's intimidated a bunch down inside. So he is really doing the job defensively, but in the case of Houston, you've got to worry about foul trouble because he does have 3.
The game really changed when Akeem went out of there. They started taking shots that they normally would. Before that, they were walking with the ball. They were changing the arc on the ball.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea for Houston to go ahead and develop a delay game. When he goes, particularly in the NCAA playoffs, because you don't have a shot clock. They've got a lot of good guards with a lot of quickness, and it might be an excellent team to have a delay game to give Akeem Olajuwon 1, a rest, and 2, to keep him out of foul trouble.
Speaking of foul trouble, 2 players on this Houston club has 3 fouls, Olajuwon and Winslow. 1 for Kentucky, that's Blackman. As far as the scoring is concerned in that first half, Young with a total of 9, Olajuwon with 10. Leading the way for Kentucky was Turpin with 9 and Walker with 8.
And you talked about that 40% shooting or 41% shooting by Houston. Normally they shoot 52%, so they're way down. So you have to give Kentucky's defense, particularly Sam Bowie, a lot of credit there.
They started fast. They hit 3 of their first 4, and then all of a sudden it got away from them.
Well, good screen again on Walker. He lost Young.
Here's Akeem out of the way. Walker's there. Again, Akeem really drawing a crowd.
Dickie Beal and Blackman in the starting lineup. And Blackman takes it on Olajuwon. Remember, Gary, Olajuwon's 3rd foul was where Blackman took it right to the hole.
Biggest lead of the game now for Kentucky. They lead by 6. Blackman playing those 3 fouls. Michael Young, Akeem.
Michael Young will find that Kenny Walker can really go up in the air. It'll be hard to get off that jumper against him without a screen.
Akeem with 12 points. Dickie Beal. Well, I tell you, Joe B. Hall hopes that he can contribute from here on in.
the basket. Kentucky really picking up their confidence level in this game in regard to going to the basket.
Well, they were in the slump. Friday night, they were standing around against the zone. They weren't playing with emotion. And this is the kind of game that'll get that emotion back for you.
What might have thrown them off a great deal? Don't tell me they're going to call this a shot.
Ooh, that is surprising.
No way that was a shot. He hit him long before he was in his shooting motion.
And he's 28th year at 61 years of age. Guy B. Lewis has seen it all, but looks like he's about as surprised as anybody.
Well, I don't know how you could call that in the act of shooting.
Walker now with 9 points, 38-33. Winslow with the rebound. We've played about a minute now in this dream matchup in the second half.
Starting off just the opposite in the first half. Houston can't get one down.
Michael Young's been very quiet. There's Geddes.
A little bit too far out.
Bowie lost it out of bounds. That's one of the few that he hasn't just completely dominated on the defensive board.
Dennis realizes he's wide open, Gary, but nobody's guarding him. Nobody's within 10, 12 feet of him. He's got to slide in and get the shot from about 15 to 16 feet instead of shooting it from 23. Dickie Beal's slumping off completely, not even guarding Franklin, who's wide open.
Young. Bowie again with a rebound. He has 11 in this game. The steal. Young again, and he can't buy one right now. Well, he arched that one over Bowie, didn't he?
Good job by Sam Bowie. He was 3 against 1 and held his ground very well.
Michael Young with 11 points. That might get him back on track. He hit a real cold snap.
There's that 2-3 zone.
And boy, he's shooting the ball so much better, Billy, than when we saw him earlier in the year. He said he watched the tapes of our game and saw that he was slingshotting the ball, and he's gotten a little more finesse to it. That was a fine shot.
Sam really fired up, and he's laying off Winslow to help out inside. But look at Dickie Beal. He's not even guarding his man. Franklin wide open.
Turpin. And Turpin, nope, they're going to call it on Beal. Dickie Beal with the foul.
Beal is sloughing off on Olajuwon, so Franklin wide open. Geddes wide open. So Houston going to have to look for some outside jump shots.
Joe B. Hall was going to put Beal in the game Friday night against Vanderbilt, and he looked for him, and he was in the bathroom because he was so ill from the stomach virus. Dickey's had everything happen to him, but he says for us to do well, Beal's got to be back in the lineup, and he's playing now.
Well, as tough as Kentucky is and has been in the month of December, you got to feel that by March they're going to be even tougher. They'll be over that slump period with everybody healthy, and by then Sam Bowie will really be a factor.
Franklin makes it a three-point game. And
push-off. Push-off, and it has to be against a Kentucky player.
I think it might be Bowie. Let's see. That's who it is. Leading his cause.
Of course, it will not be a 1-and-1. And Houston, it's not 1-and-1 yet, so Houston gets the ball out of bounds. The Houston players are walking in the other direction.
That's the second foul on number 31. Now a chance to cut it to 1. Get us into Akeem. Turpin got away with the reach in, but Akeem retrieved it.
Kentucky not getting any loose balls at this point. Here, you pointed at the top of the show. Both teams playing conferences that use the 45-second clock, but they're not using it here today.
Young still not shooting as well as he'd like. And that'll be a foul on Winslow. Let's go back on that play by Sam Bowie after the free throw.
See Olajuwon in the lane. Bowie just pushes him off with both hands. And that was the foul. They call that foul, that last foul on Winslow. Again, realizing the lob pass was coming, Winslow really went for the ball.
And Winslow has 4 fouls on him.
Now, Joe Hall wanting that to be a shooting foul. Can't be a shooting foul because Ricky Winslow had as much chance to get the ball as did Sam Bowie.
Winslow will come out of the ball game. Anderson replaces the freshman.
Joe ought to calm down a little bit. He got a bye with one when Walker got an opportunity for the shooting foul.
Well, he's been in a slump. He's trying to get this team emotionally charged up a little bit.
Can't fall in for that.
Here's Walker. Nice rhythm, nice touch. 11 points for Skywalker. 42-37.
And he's been a star at the National Sports Festival, did very well at international ball, and has to be a candidate for the Olympic team.
That's what Franklin did at the start of the game, was penetrate, and he gets it done there. 10 points for Franklin. That's his seasonal average. Kentucky hit all three of their opportunities in the field in the second half. Now 4 of 4. They're playing with confidence. To a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. 7 points for Blackman.
Henderson out there now having to take Winslow's place because of the foul trouble.
Michael Young, tough shot. He's fouled by Walker.
Good defense by Walker, but a real smart play by the veteran to alter the little pump fake while he was in the air and threw Walker off balance. You'll see it right here. Good pump fake, goes by. Now watch, he goes to that little double pump. He goes up for the shot, and when he pulled it back down, that's when Walker hit it.
Guy Lewis told me that Michael Young, as you look at Walker, is probably the least publicized of any leading scorer he's ever had. He's just a quiet performer, a great gentleman, a great player. They call him the silent assassin. He doesn't show a lot of emotion. He just beats you. 12 points for Young.
Foul shooting woes of Houston.
Both shooting in the 50th percentile at halftime. 4-point lead now for the Wildcats. Here's Blackman. Hakeem. Boy, he waited the last second and rejected that one.
Stayed right on the ground. Look at Hakeem for this lob. Oh, did you see that speed? 90 feet. He blocked it at one end of the court and outraced everybody to the other end.
And what body control in the air. He was turned sideways. 2-point game now.
I'd like to see Ewing and Hakeem in a foot race.
Kenny Walker, Mr. Consistency for Kentucky. 13 points.
Kentucky put a little pressure in that backcourt. Beal and Blackman both quick. Everybody packed in on Hakeem.
Hakeem, see the 3 men around him instantly. Franklin, tough shot. He's fouled by Bowie. Van Bowie picking up his third.
Franklin's tough to handle on the inside. Now
let's go back on that play to Hakeem.
Okay, stays on the ground to the last inch and blocks it. Now you're not going to believe who's the man on the other end of this pass. Look at this speed. Here he comes. What a play. What a play.
That's a highlight film. 10 points now for Alvin Franklin.
Looked like the speed of the camera was set up a little higher to make him look good there.
Alvin Franklin, oh, what a vastly improved player he is.
All he needed was the playing time.
That's right. He got nice rotation on the ball. Remember last year he shot the ball and had a funny spin on it.
The NC State game, he was the man that went to the line.
That's a 2-point game. This game is heating up with 15:38 left to go.
This buzz for everyone who's getting the 1984 Olympic Games ready for the world. To everyone who's working hard for America's Olympic effort, this buzz for you.
Here in the cockpit, you realize that the Mazda RX-7 didn't become a legend merely because of the turbine-like flow of its rotary engine, its slippery aerodynamics, or its impressive list of standard features. The RX-7's success is largely due to its outstanding value, but even more, to its outstanding performance. The more you look, the more you like. The Mazda experience.
I may not win every race, but I still have an advantage over these guys. I use the Gillette Atra. They don't. It has the advantage of a pivoting head. Atra is better than twin-blade razors that don't pivot. See? They don't always stay on my beard, but my Atra pivots to keep both blades on my beard longer. So I get a better shave. Close, comfortable.
Get the Gillette Atra and get the Atra advantage.
Hey, everyone can use a little advantage.
We want wanted to update you on what's happening throughout the country. Our leading scorer through Friday night was Devin Durant of BYU. Wayman Tisdale, by the way, had 30 points last night against Kansas State. Joe Dumars of McNeese State.
Joe Jakubic from Akron, who's been up there for the last couple of years in scoring, and Lewis Jackson from Alabama State.
Let's take a look at the rebounding. That's no surprise. Akeem is on top. Mike Brown, Xavier McDaniel's always been a tough rebounder.
That's 6'6". Everybody else up there, 6'9" type ball player.
Super Bowl 18 to follow this one. That was blocked at time by Akeem. Walker's got it. Akeem's got it. He's careful.
Number 4. Now Guy Lewis has a tough decision to make. 15 minutes to go. Akeem makes the great block here on Bowie. Bowie hustles to get the ball back. Then Akeem goes to the floor. He battles for it. Kenny Walker comes in, takes it away. Walker, not intimidated, goes up. The foul really could have been called on Anderson first. But it goes on Akeem, and he's got 4 now. If you're Guy Lewis, what do you do?
Guy Lewis has not made a move. He may leave Akeem in there. 13 points for Walker. Walker has really played a strong game.
2 schools of thought on most coaches in this case. Say, hey, we're going to leave him in there because we can't win without him. The other school of thought is get him out of there and see how long we can stick with this team without him in the game. Personally think with 15 minutes to go, you almost have to take him out and let your team first try to stay in the game for a while.
Guy is not moving. He's going to leave him in.
I'm wrong again.
47-44. 15-15 to go. It's Akeem. Put on him. Young will come back out to Houston.
With no clock. Good time to take some clock off and some time off that clock. Houston just doesn't play that way.
They did in the Final Four game, and you can recall all the controversy about that against North Carolina State. There's Young.
Good defense by Walker.
Akeem, and underneath him was Turpin. Turpin with the foul.
Good call. They had to give Akeem room to come down.
3 on Melvin. Billy, you made a good point a while ago. It's one thing to have an intimidating player like Akeem, but Akeem's going against 2 of them. 2 guys he has to worry about.
Well, you can point out last year's Houston team when you have Mishaw and Drexler in there. Akeem could be the 3rd guy to come out and block a shot or grab a rebound. This year, he's had to improve a lot. It's been excellent training for him.
Akeem played with the 4 fouls against Turpin. Franklin tried to follow. Bowie instead with a rebound. Field to Blackman, and we're going to have a foul.
Charge or a block?
We're waiting. The discussion ensuing now between the officials. No basket.
Looks like it's going to be on Houston. It's a block.
That's what they call, but there's no basket. Geddes with the foul, his 3rd.
Here comes Dickie Veal down. Tries to get out of the way. Geddes moves over. It's on 45. It's not on Akeem. He wasn't even close.
That's right. It is Geddes, his 3rd. Now the crowd, they reacted. They heard the public address announcer say it was Akeem.
Well, in the old days, maybe you can foul out a guy, but with TV today, it's not that easy. Akeem wasn't involved in that play at all.
Coming up next, the Redskins and Raiders. That will be off of Alvin Franklin. Kentucky will reset it. Kentucky with a 47-44 lead, and we're going to have a timeout called by Houston. Guy Lewis wants to kind of quiet this crowd down, reestablish some control in this game as he trails.
I just got a sporty truck priced like some base trucks. The Mazda B2000 SE5. Look, it comes standard with a 5-speed overdrive, steel-belted radials and spoker wheels, sporty stripes, a step bumper, even dual sport mirrors. Pretty sporty for just $59.95.
Sakes alive. Sakes alive. Only Mazda's got a sporty truck with just $59.95.
This bud's to everyone who tackles the changes and challenges of that new promotion.
This bud's for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So listen, for all you do.
Yep, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
clean as a whistle.
Hey, you know, one of your guys, which one was it? He told me Union 76 gasolines would help keep my carburetor clean. Tall guy.
Didn't he tell you that 76 gasolines are blended to give them spirit?
Yeah, a guy with a mustache. Nah. You know, your gasoline doesn't get the credit it deserves, Murph.
I know the feeling. Nick? Oh, you noticed, huh, Murph?
Fill her up with spirit.
That we have great gasoline? Sure, I noticed.
The spirit of 76.
Are you really afraid of your underwear?
You go ahead, folks. I'll catch up.
I'm Mercedes!
It's Alan Alda, Carol Burnett, and Jack Weston in the Four Seasons Monday.
The Redskins and the Raiders coming next. It all begins with Super Bowl today with Brent Musburger and his crew. And many people feel that has the chance to be the best of them all. Guy Lewis calling that timeout. Both teams now have 2 timeouts left. Walker, Hakeem is there.
Gary, if you think of back on Hakeem's fouls, they've primarily been called on him when he fouled somebody else's man trying to help out.
Or the ball was down around the floor area.
That's what he has to be careful of now. Not trying to do too much on defense.
Boy with his 13th rebound. Turpin, and that'll be off of Hakeem.
Turpin saw Hakeem coming and again showed that brilliant speed to get down the floor.
Tried to hurry the shot, and he just couldn't get his hands on it.
He is really some athlete. Bowie looking for the lob pass, breaking through on the out-of-bounds against the 2-3 zone. Houston stayed in his 2-3 the entire game.
13:55 left in the game. Blackman, Hakeem's got to stay off of him. Geddes tipped it. Look at Bowie hustle. It'll be off of Sam, but there's a guy who's come back, rehabilitated a leg, and playing harder than ever.
You know, Gary, they talk about Sam being 60%. I would say offensively, or as far as ball skills are concerned, he may be 60%. As far as his physical well-being, the way he moves on the court, speed, quickness, leaping ability, physical strength, I'd say he's a lot better than that.
You know, one of the things that bothers him is defensively he's having to cover more ground playing at the forward spot. There's Franklin suspending himself in the air, and we're back to a 1-point game.
Hanging in here, but the big key to this game is how long can Olajuwon stay in the game for those 4 fouls.
Young with the deflection and Geddes with a foul. And on Geddes, that's his 4th.
Winslow with 4. Geddes with 4 and Olajuwon with 4. Gary, another reason why I don't think it'd be a bad move to take Olajuwon out now is that the team would get used to playing in this particular game without him for a few minutes, even if you put him right back in there. As sooner or later, if he fouls out, you're obviously going to have to go some minutes without him in there.
Well, he's gone about 2 minutes now with his 4th foul. Turpin, quick hands that time by Young. It'll be off of Young. And now coming into the ball game will be Derek Giles, number 11, and Geddes will go out with that 4th foul.
Guy Lewis didn't become the 5th all-time winningest coach without having some tough decisions to make, and he's got one right here.
500
minutes to go.
546 wins, Billy, coming into this game. 28 years, only 2 coaches in the history of Houston. Look out, Hakeem. Turpin.
He loves that. Great battling by Melvin Turpin.
11 points for Melvin Turpin, who really started this team off effectively. Been a while coming to that 11th point, and there's a foul on Kenny Walker.
Kenny Walker was a little bit out of position when he challenged Michael Young. The pump fake got him going backwards, and Kenny put his hand out to stop him. He has the potential. He's scoring well, and as you pointed out, he's led Kentucky in scoring of late. But he also has the potential to be a stopper on defense.
Geddes comes right back in. A brief break. Giles checks back out of the ball game.
No chance for the lob with the Twin Towers in there.
There's Cadillac. Anderson passing to Geddes. Return pass. And that's going to go off of Kentucky. Jim Master, who's been out of the game the second half, comes in, and Beal will lead. Also coming into the ball game is, again, Dickens or Giles. They keep alternating them back and forth.
And surprisingly, the fellow that had the real good first half to get Kentucky rolling, Roger Harden, hadn't been back in the game here in the second half. Kentucky pretty deep.
There's Young. Tough shot.
Hakeem almost reached again.
Blackman will retrieve at the 12-minute mark of the second half. Walker
open there with that fourth foul.
Not by Anderson, but Walker taking it to him, which is the right thing to do.
Franklin. Giles comes away with it. To Akeem. Foul partially blocked by Bowie.
But this game is really physical. What a group of athletes.
Bowie.
That's a technical foul.
He was hanging on the rim.
Technical foul.
Here's Giles. Back to Young. It's a little helter-skelter, and Young converts it, and it's a one-point game.
Oh, the team has got to be exhausted. These players have gone up and down this court. The last 2 minutes, they're just exhausted. Look at him walking. Looks like the UCLA-Houston game where everybody was walking around. Old-time basketball.
Bent over there, grabbed his knees for a while.
He's exhausted. Now, here's when you can pick up a cheap foul. When you're tired, not quick enough to get to the spot.
Master.
Look at he's bent over holding his knees.
Look out. Akeem challenges him, and Blackman gets 2 points.
Houston's exhausted. They're all walking down the court right now. And here's where Guy Lewis would like to have that timeout back, Gary.
Houston is a very well-conditioned ball club. As you mentioned, that was an unbelievable sequence of events. Franklin, there's Sam again.
Houston needs some timeout. They hate to have to take one now. Akeem is just walking down the court. He gets there late.
Master still scoreless. There's Akeem with another block. Joe B. Hall wanted goaltending. He's furious. Here's Bowie. Akeem again.
Oh, that's goaltending. I can't believe that. Oh, what a note.
And Kirkman. Great tenacity by the Wildcats.
Houston has Akeem cannot. Akeem is asking to come out of the game. He can't get down the court.
Houston doesn't want to use a timeout either.
He's exhausted. He's got to come out of there. Houston should pull the ball back out.
Young answers at the other end. 53-50 Kentucky. Boy, this place is bedlam right now.
Here's why I do not like the free timeout rule in the TV game, because it really would help a ball club down a game that's contested like this one to get that extra timeout.
Rebound by Giles. They can cut it to 1.
Oh, that's
There's Blackman. He moved in front of him, and that's his foul.
Great call by the ref. Good point, Gary. It was a great call by the ref. Blackman moved over, never did set his position. This helps Guy Lewis because it enables him to get Akeem Olajuwon out, and he needs some oxygen. He is exhausted.
Roger Harden will come in for Kentucky. Blackman will lead with his 4th foul. Walker also coming out of there. Winston Bennett has come in for him. You know,
look at Akeem over here on the bench, and he ought to be just trying to grab a breath.
It's an exhausting thing to watch this game the way they went up and down the floor.
He thinks he's in Lagos in one of those 105-degree days. By the way, Gary, it's said that his mom and dad are going to come over and see him play in the NCAA playoffs, the first time they've ever seen him play in an American game.
You know, he'll be 21 tomorrow. 21 years of age. Akeem's birthday. 2-point game.
Next couple of minutes are going to be important, not only to arrest Olajuwon, but keep him out of that foul trouble. Let's see how Kentucky comes back.
Roger Harden with 6 points.
He's had a great game. I said it was surprising. He had that first half. He didn't play here in the second.
Baseline blocked by Turpin. Look at Melvin play. Jim Master still looking to score. Boy, they were up above the rim on that one. Master trying to retrieve. Bennett. Billy, I've never seen people up above the rim in a college game like we've had here.
Tremendous athletes, and when you have this many guys that can play the game, here's Master hustling, makes a good save. Kentucky forcing it right back again. Harden doing a super job today, hitting the ball ahead. Takes it inside Bennett. There's Winslow going up above the rim.
That foul on Anderson, his 3rd personal.
Guess who's getting off the bench? Take a look over there.
Akeem with 8:57 left in the game. The 7-footer re-enters. Winslow will exit.
Number 35,
Got that little rest.
Bennett now with 6 points in the game.
Kentucky has just so many people to throw at you. There's still some fellas over there that haven't even gotten in the game. Brett Barrett sitting over there. Hyde sitting over there.
6-point lead now
taking another tough shot. Olajuwon gets his hand on the ball when Bowie can't get it. Now watch Bowie go up. He's right on the ball. It can't be a foul on Bowie.
It's on Turpin, his fourth.
For Kentucky, number 30.
So Turpin will leave, and Kenny Walker will come in for Turpin. Akeem does not know how to lay out of a game, does he? He's playing like he has one foul on him instead of four.
Well, a real testimony to him is the fact that he's making the two Twin Towers play all out, and he's got them in some foul trouble now.
Akeem with 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 block shots. Houston is not a good free throw shooting team. They shoot around 63%.
59. 59. Yep. 59%. That'll cost you a lot of ball games.
Young, great effort.
Might be one of the reasons that Guy Lewis doesn't like to go to the delay game, because in the delay game you get some fouls. Young's taking some hard shots.
Young has not shot very well. Kenny Walker. An 8-point lead.
Looks like Houston's got to find some other source of points. Young trying to do it all himself and taking a lot of bad shots. Look for the lob. Timeout.
CBS's coverage of NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station.
The magic of CBS Sports Sunday is the WBC Super Lightweight Championship, World Cup Skiing, and the World Speed Skating Championships next weekend on CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
Inventory reduction. Now at your Massey Ferguson dealer. Big factory discounts and special financing options on new MF tractors and new MF combines and many special deals on MF implements. It's all going on during our limited time only inventory reduction. So hurry to your Massey Ferguson dealer and save.
Central Equipment Company, Lexington, Agricultural Sales and Services, White House Humphrey Farm Machinery, Danville.
Does your copier need a repairman standing by for emergencies? Is your copier repairman at your place more than his? Then it's time for a Panasonic. All Panasonic copiers from our reduction copier on down use advanced electronics and are engineered to make thousands of copies without a break. So if your copier repairman's become a permanent fixture, it's time for a Panasonic copier.
Call Viking Office Products for a free demonstration.
Channel 27, WKYT-TV, Lexington.
Saturday, we're going to be very busy from the Carrier Dome. Some of you will see Syracuse against Lou Carnesecca's St. John's Redmond, the Georgia Bulldogs here in Rupp Arena against the Kentucky Wildcats. Billy and I will go west to Westwood for the game between unbeaten DePaul and the UCLA Bruins. And then on Sunday, 12 o'clock Eastern, the Arkansas Razorbacks will battle Houston for that Southwest Conference Championship going against Villanova. Billy, right now in the second half, Houston is shooting 28%, Kentucky 50%.
Well, this fella right here, Michael Young, taking a lot of bad shots. He's trying to carry his team all by himself. He's got to get Franklin back in the ball game offensively. Man-to-man by Kentucky now. Really putting pressure outside.
Akeem, walk to the ball.
Be wise for Houston to get the ball in the hands of Franklin again. Let him do some penetrating, create some offense.
There is the field goal percentage. Michael Young is probably around that 28 himself. He has not shot well in the second half of play.
That's Master out hitting the shot yet today. He's got to get on track. Joe Hall would like to have that.
Walker. Rebound by Michael Young.
There's the ball in Franklin's hands. See if he can get something started.
Harden's playing tough on him. That's almost thrown away, and we're going to have a foul on Jim Master. Had a lot of those calls, haven't we?
Master runs into Young. Sam's
at 61-53. We checked on Young, Billy. Young is shooting only 33% in the second half.
Very reflective of the whole ball club.
Bennett against Akeem. Trying to get Akeem out of there, that fifth foul.
That's something you don't want to do too often, though. If you keep working on that, you get away from your offense. Here's Franklin again. He's making a lot of things happen. Good move by Houston, whether it was designed or not, to get that ball back in Franklin's hands.
Roger Harden committing the personal foul. His third.
Houston almost could go for clear-outs on Franklin because nobody on Kentucky's guard group today has been proved that they can play him.
14 points for this man.
He had the good motion. Really has a set of legs on him. Looks like a fullback.
He's 11 of 20. Houston is from the line now, 12 of 21. 61-54 the score.
11 of 20, right about on their team average.
Yep, that's right. It's what you say, 59%.
Master really uncertain to look for that basket, isn't he?
Boy, and that may be it for Akeem.
That's it. Again, trying to stop one man and then going over Bowie's back for the fifth. That's all. He knows it. Outstanding player, though.
Fourth time that he's fouled out this year. He has really done a much better job staying out of foul difficulty this
Now
season.
watch it. He tries to go stop Bennett's jump shot. Then he comes back and tries to go over Bowie, and that's where he's gotten, I would say all 5 fouls today were committed when he tried to do more than is possible. Here he goes, out, tries to block one shot, comes back on Bowie, picks up the foul. I know 4 of them were committed trying to help out.
Anderson will come in. Akeem leads with 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 block shots.
Very articulate young man. Gentleman.
4 languages.
Real gentleman and a very aggressive player who has an unlimited career ahead of him.
Wait a minute. Are they going to be shooting free throws here?
No, they shouldn't be shooting any free throw. Sam Bowie was tapping the ball. Joe Hall's reaching now.
Well, we're in the 1-and-1.
1-and-1, okay, but not a shooting foul.
Joe is grinning a little more than he was earlier in this ball game.
Now Joe's working ref real well because he's saying, how about that last play where Masters, he said he didn't have the ball, he wants some time and distance.
Rebound by Walker. Bowie tries to follow, and it's going to be off of Kentucky.
When you see Kentucky going up the boards, can you imagine how high Auburn was the night they totally demolished Kentucky off the boards?
And then they go and lose to Florida, down in Gainesville.
Show you a lot of people in college basketball can play the game. If you're not on top of your game in a given night, as far as effort, you can get beat.
Young shooting 33% in the second half, misses another. 5:47 left. Bennett and Anderson commits the foul.
If Kentucky coaches look at the film of this game, they're really going to like what they see in Roger Harden. He has hit the open man very well today. He's led the attack in terms of getting the ball to the right people day in and throughout this entire day.
Anderson now with 4 personal fouls. Well, coming into this game, Joe B. Hall said this would be the type of game that could break us out of a slump. The emotion involved around it, the way they're playing, I think they may be out of it.
Gary, a lot of this slump started, or if you want to call it a slump, I really think that's maybe a little bit of a misnomer. When they went out and played Cincinnati, they're on a real roll. Cincinnati held the ball on them, which was a pretty wise strategy. And put them in kind of a state of depression in terms of their ability not to go out and just blow people off the court.
62-54, approaching 5.5 minutes to go. Young, fouled by Bowie.
Young is trying to do it all by himself, but you can't blame him. He's been around for a long time, but the defense is just too strong to get away with those kind of moves.
That's Bowie's 4th personal foul. Geddes comes out of the ball game.
So there you have, here's the move by Young on the inside. You have Olajuwon out of the game with 5 fouls, Bowie with 4, and Turpin with 4. Kentucky having 2 men that they can use, and Houston just 1.
17 points now for Michael Young, and Turpin will return. He'll be playing with 4 fouls. Bowie leads with 4.
Tremendous effort. The Lebanon PA fella has had a lot of hardship since he's been at Kentucky. Made the Olympic team. What a thrill it'd be for him to make the Olympic team this time, because he made it in 1980, didn't get to go to the Soviet Union.
Be one of the great stories if he continues his rehabilitation.
Intimidation by Kentucky defense. He may be one of the last guys in the history of the United States to be able to make 2 Olympic teams. There won't be many in the future, considering professional basketball and the way the teams are selected.
Winston Bennett.
Anderson.
Michael Young again trying to do it himself. This time he makes it work. And they're back in it, 62-57.
Can't fault Michael Young for courage. He has to be exhausted.
Young with 19 points. He's approaching his 14th 20-point game of the year.
Louisville with a big win, and they're getting ready for March, as always.
They lost him early, but Denny Crum's got him rolling now.
They're undefeated in their conference.
That turnover gives Houston another opportunity to cut it even closer.
There'll be a real clash in the Memphis State-Louisville game. Both undefeated in the Metro.
Franklin, that's going to count, and he's been fouled.
It's like a charge. It's like a charge.
Yep. The basket will count.
They're right back down to 3 points again. A lot of courage on this Houston club. There's the reverse. As I pointed out before, they keep it in Franklin's hands. No Kentucky guard's been able to hold him today.
Franklin with his second personal foul.
Joe Hall might even think about putting a Winston Bennett or Kenny Walker on Franklin. He could stay away from him a little bit and stop him from penetrating in there, because the guards can't handle him.
Mr. Enthusiasm, in the estimation of Joe B. Hall, is this guy, Walker. Loves to play the game. He has 18 points and 8 rebounds. He's going to be one of our candidates for the MVP.
Quiet 18, Gary.
Well, they're leaving the door open.
Ricky Winslow up in another strong rebound.
They can cut it to 1.
Here's Harden on Franklin. Oh, that shot.
Boy, did you see Bennett go up for that one?
That's a very bad shot by Houston to get it down to 3 and then take one like that.
And the wrong guy taking it, too.
Shoot!
Turpin.
Those mental mistakes cost you as much as the physical ones.
Melvin now with 15. 4:09. You see the time remaining in this game. Franklin again penetrating. Looks like he could do that all afternoon.
He can, Gary, and he should continue to try to do that. For Joe Hall, you've got to make a change defensively and put a bigger man on him.
19 points for Franklin.
Joe Hall wanting a timeout right now, but nobody sees him.
Houston staying in here without a key. Who's fouled out of the game. Winston Bennett. Turpin follows.
Joe Hall wanting a timeout. His players don't see him. Now it's too late because Houston has the ball.
Turpin with 17. Back to a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Here's Young. He likes that baseline area. Dickens again, and he's missed a couple.
He's hurting. He's hurting. The coaches are screaming at him, we don't need that shot.
Boy, Harden really running this team as a quarterback, and now Coach Hall gets his timeout. They have 1 left. 3:20 to go. Kentucky leading by 5.
You're across the aisle, second cabin.
Every night, Flight 207 is readied for its trip across the Atlantic. Bill loads 200,000 pounds of fuel. Ed makes sure there are enough meals on board. And the ground crew always manages to squeeze on the cargo. But tonight, it's carrying something more.
And Captain, all the Olympic team stuff's on board.
Tonight, they know Flight 207 is carrying our nation's hope. A hope that one day all nations will come to see that the true measure of the Olympics is not in the winning, but discovering the best in all of us.
Experience Mazda. The first thing you notice about the Mazda RX-7 is its sleek, slippery styling. Then you notice amenities like contoured sports seats, a redesigned instrument cluster, and 5-speed overdrive. You also can't help but notice the Mazda RX-7's outstanding value. But perhaps most noticeable of all is just how you feel at times like these. The more you look, the more you like. The Mazda Experience.
rainbow to a galaxy of superstars and see the best perform their magic. The NBA All-Star Game, next Sunday on CBS Sports.
From Denver, Colorado, the 34th NBA All-Star Game. The Malones, the Doctors, the Magics, the Kareems, and the Adrian Dantley. Should be quite a show. Live, 2 o'clock Eastern. And speaking of All-Stars, how about this guy, Pete Rose, now a Montreal Expo. Alongside him is Doug Flynn, the Expo second baseman and a native of Lexington. And Pete, a big basketball fan.
Yeah, it looks like he's got that 2-year contract to go after that all-time record. That's a good timeout by Joe Hall. I'm anxious to see if he makes a change defensively on Franklin. Now Houston changes defense. They go to a 1-3-1 half-court trap. Good time for Kentucky to spread it out, throw the ball around, and wear Houston down instead of attacking right away.
They approach 3 minutes to go in the game. A 5-point lead for Kentucky, and the foul is going to go on Young.
When you get a team coming out in a trap like that, what you don't want to do is try to attack immediately the basket. Run them ragged for a couple of seconds. You've got a lead of 5 points in the case of Kentucky. Make the team spread out and then attack later. With Bowie and Turpin down there, you've got a lot of guys that can do the job down low if you get the ball there.
Kenny Walker with a 1-and-1.
What a super game.
Yes, sir. To go with his 18 points, he has 8 rebounds. 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Houston, Billy, shooting only 32%. We mentioned what a good field goal shooting team they are. They haven't met Twin Towers very often, though, like Bowie and Turpin.
That's right. Not many second shots when you play against Kentucky, particularly in a game that's this active. Most teams beat Kentucky by playing a patient tempo type game.
There's Franklin again, the penetration. They thought he walked with it. Gillis has not done that much offensively, and that's going to be a foul on Young over the back.
Sam Bowie doing a great job spreading out for that rebound. He not only is holding his ground when he gets up there in the air, but he's taking up a lot of room before he ever leaves the floor.
That was his 17th rebound of the game. Guy Lewis, his team, he said, is not as good as last year. You can't lose a Drexler and Mishaw, but he thinks it's a fun bunch of guys to coach. And speaking of some fun, I'm looking forward to this. The Redskins and Raiders, Super Bowl 18 from Tampa. And we're going to have another foul. It's going to go on Reed Geddes.
That's 5 for Geddes. Kentucky just starting to dominate inside now. They've worn Houston down.
Depth of Kentucky. And a tough place to play with this win today. Joe B. Hall's Wildcats will have won over the course of the last 2 years 16 straight at home.
Now this man gets a lot of abuse here at Kentucky. It's in a different type environment in terms of any time he doesn't blow somebody out of there, people don't feel it's a victory. Very unfortunate. He has more wins per year than the great Adolph Rupp throughout his coaching period. And a real difference. Gary, I did a game at North Carolina this weekend. The Dean Smith approach, and their players say, hey, if we lose a game, it's not the end of the earth. Over here in Kentucky, it is the end of the earth. It's kind of unfortunate in a way.
The pressure of Kentucky basketball. They expect to win the national championship every year. They've won it 5 times. Winningest team in the history of college basketball, the Wildcats. But yet, sometimes that's not enough.
How high is up, huh?
Yes, sir. Joe won it all in 1978.
People have to remember, when Kentucky absolutely controlled the SEC in this part of the country, a lot of people didn't put emphasis into basketball the way it is today. Now you don't go into any gym in the SEC playing against somebody that's not trying to beat you pretty well and are equipped to do so.
Franklin, he's fouled. He's going to go on Bowie or Walker. Let's wait and see.
Bowie just had his hands straight up in the air.
He's going to go on Walker, his 3rd. You know, you were talking about that. That's one of the reasons that Joe B. Hall says we've been in a slump in January the last 5 years is the SEC so much tougher than it used to be.
You better believe it. 19-2 against Southwest Conference teams. A lot of those probably back during the Rupp period.
Well, what Houston hasn't done poorly against the Southeastern Conference. They've won 9 straight, including 2 this year prior to today. Southwest Conference is tougher this year.
A lot of people, you got to look at least 3 teams getting into the NCAA there with SMU, a club that hasn't had a lot of national exposure, but getting there. Here comes the press.
70-63. Roger Hart, you said it before, he has played a stellar game.
Now Kentucky's starting to move that ball around. Masters held on to it a little bit too long. Throw obviously knows that he made a mistake. Joe Hall going to talk to him.
Pressure, and what a play by Franklin.
We'll get it to 3.
3-point game.
Courage being shown out here.
A minute 53. That's 26 turnovers now against Kentucky.
Sam Bowie's pretty nice outlet pass. He stands up tall, catches the ball well.
And he handles it well for a big man.
And a lot of experience. Here he is outside. Houston's going to have to come out of the 1-3-1 and go get it. They've got to come out. Down to 130.
One thing I wanted to mention on those turnovers, Billy, today, 27 points have been scored on them by Houston, so they've been very opportunistic, and there's a foul. It'll go on Giant. His first.
Bowie going to that foul line. Sam Bowie used to be an absolutely great pure shooter from the line. Sam Winks over here. He's going the line. He's enjoying himself. Have a pretty good rapport with him. He's quite a young fella. Really a classy guy.
He came here and he was sitting on the bench with crutches. Had a chance to interview him. Very articulate, very good student. He'll be shooting. He's shooting 67% from the line. 1:21 to go. Kentucky by 3.
Better than the competition, it takes more than muscle. It takes skill. And Delta's crew of dedicated professionals work together to bring you a smooth flight on every flight. That's how Delta stands out. We push ourselves to the limit every day. To be a champion, it takes team spirit, and Delta is ready.
You've already read the news that 7-Up has no caffeine. But have you read today's news? 7-Up also has no artificial color. These are artificially colored. 7-Up has no artificial flavor. These have artificial flavor. So naturally, 7-Up has a clean, refreshing, unspoiled taste. Just look at the contents.
You are looking at live music as seen through a computer. The computer can freeze an instant of the music and mark it. Now, a Memorex High Bias 2 recording of the same music. Compare Memorex to live. You will not hear true reproduction on any high bias cassette. Not the first play, not the 1000th, not ever, or we'll replace it. Free. Is it live, or is it Memorex?
Coming up next, following this dream match, is another dream match. The Redskins against the Raiders from Tampa, Super Bowl 18. Basketball, and then we switch to football. You know, we were talking about Houston. They have not gotten that much scoring off their bench. They have 5 points. And Billy, that brings us to the point. Houston lost Benny Anders this year, who decided to drop out of school. We understand he may come back next year. Braxton Clark, a junior college transfer. They need a little depth.
I would be a bit surprised to see Benny Anders back on his team in time this year. And they can certainly use his scoring, and with the right attitude, I'm sure he could be a big contributor.
That's a big miss.
Franklin again with his hands on the ball.
Bowie missed it, and now the chance to cut it to 1.
I'd get that ball to Alvin Franklin, let him penetrate. Kentucky playing his own now.
Irvin jumped out on Young. Anderson is there. It will not count. He walked with the ball.
Guy Lewis saying he was pushed. That could have been a big break for Houston.
I would have cut it to 1. Instead, it's still a 3-point lead. Guy Lewis demonstrating what he thought happened.
Well, Guy Lewis was a great player, too, at the University of Houston. Had a high scoring average back to those days.
The first captain they had.
Who are you going to put on that foul line?
Well, you don't want to send Master there.
How about Turpin? You want to put somebody on that foul line right now. You're down 3. You need 2 possessions. Houston ought to foul. Houston ought to foul. They ought to foul now.
And they do.
They wasted, Gary, about 13 seconds there. They need 2 possessions for the score. Down 3. You've got to get the ball back twice.
Franklin has just played an outstanding game. Picked up his 3rd foul. Now they missed the other 1-and-1. Let's see what happens here.
Dickie Beal certainly hadn't had an opportunity to go that line much this year. 30 of 38, he's 78% shooter.
That's his first point of the afternoon. Bowie leads, and he leads the game with a career high in rebounds, 17. Roger Riley, our statistician, bringing it up. Sam told me, says, they really aren't asking me to do that much, but today they did ask him to do it. 8 points, contributing to that 17-rebound effort. And at the line will be Winslow. Winslow shooting 50%.
Winslow is the line.
34 seconds left.
Gary, if you look down that line of who's in the game, Dickie Beals is 78% free throw shooter. Winston Bennett, 72. Masters, 78.
Ooh, in and out. Got another one coming.
Got Melvin Turpin in the game. He's 79%. Kenny Walker at 67. So you'd want to foul Kenny Walker to get a chance. Houston, though, you can't make your own.
Boy, Young came up with that block by Turpin, and the foul will go on Winslow. And Winslow has fouled out. A little frustration there after missing the 2 free throws.
He was going to the ball, and Young thought maybe he was fouled. Now Guy Lewis got to go a little deeper in that thing. Probably a good time now. He doesn't need rebounding. He's got to get a player in the game. He's not even thinking about that. He's on the official's case, but he only has 4 men on the floor. He's got to get a sub in there. I don't believe he realized it yet.
He's still after the official. Terry
I don't
Patrick
believe he
is waiting there.
I don't believe he realized he needs to put a player in the game. Referees haven't notified him. He's only got 4 on the floor. There are the 4 players, and I don't believe they realized yet that the man.
There he goes. Now he goes. It's going to be Thomas.
Tough beating him with 5.
Winston Bennett at the line with 8 points, 2 rebounds. He's been at the free throw line a lot. He's attempted 11 and hit 6.
Stacey Belcher hasn't gotten in the game yet. And Guy Lewis going to go with 3 guards.
31 seconds left in this game. And Bennett makes it 72-67.
First half, he missed that 4 in a row, and now he's got that motion down 5.
Kentucky close to their 14th win of the year against only 2 setbacks.
Certainly won't hurt either team in the ratings. People who have seen them play here today.
Giles got to get it up. Thomas.
That's the right thing to do.
Foul by Walker.
That's the right thing to do. Take the ball right to the hoop. Hope for 3-pointers.
4 fouls on Kenny Walker. Thomas, the guy who had to shed a lot of weight. He was way overweight last year. He lost about 15 pounds over the summer. He's kind of one of those holly-golly type players. He's all over the place, really hustling, and now at the free throw line.
Pretty good guy to have in the game at this time, though, because he'll go to the basket.
Boy, they've missed 3 big free throws.
That looked like a pretty good free throw for him, though.
15 of 27 is Houston from the line.
Gary, that's a little over their average.
Look at that follow. Almost pulled off that time by Franklin. Thomas misses, and a foul will go on Giles, and that's really frustrating if you're a Houston fan.
It may be the reason they don't run the delay game. They just do not have a good free throw shooting team.
Well, they didn't last year either.
That's right.
They got all the way to that last game.
They didn't win the national championship because of it. They would hit those free throws. They'd have won that game going away. For Kentucky and Houston, it's back to the war after this game. This is kind of just like a little vacation game. They've got to go back to league play.
We've got a couple of games coming up on CBS involving Houston against Virginia and Arkansas. Have to go to Arkansas for that one.
Nobody can hit a free throw.
You see the time left. There's Anderson trying to follow. Master up the field.
Pull it back out. Pull it back out.
Foul on Michael Young with 5 seconds left.
Dickie Beal should have dribbled the ball to the corner. Just pull it back out with 5 seconds to go. The game would have been over.
And that's all for Michael Young. That's his 5th.
Jim Master has not scored a point today, Gary.
No, he has not. Shows you the depth. A guy that one of the best shooters in the conference and not scoring but able to contribute in other areas and win this game.
I'd have to make the statement, though, if they're going to win the national crown or get to the Final Four, Jim Master will have to come out of this shooting slump or the lack of even getting shots off. You're talking about a guy that made the Pan Am team and was one of the primary shooters for the Pan Am squad.
He started slow down there, remember? And then he started hitting that shot.
Well, they all started slow with shooting in the darkness. It's tough.
4 of the 5 starters for Houston have fouled out of the game. The only guy remaining is Franklin. Bennett adds to that advantage. He has 11. So the dream match is over. Kentucky wins their second in a row. They defeat the Houston Cougars 74-67.
The great cars of Europe priced far